Hello, all you lovely people, and welcome to another video of mine. Have you ever thought about owning a cat, but we're just not willing to take that decision because of the certain, you could say, parenting liabilities that come along with? Well, BlueTwelve Studio have made it really easy for you to experience the joys of owning your dream pet cat without any of those issues. The solution? Stray. Now, this is a 2022 adventure game developed by BlueTwelve Studio. It's been published by Annapurna Interactive, and it follows the story of a stray cat who falls into this walled city populated by robots, machines, and viruses, and sets out to return to the surface with the help of a drone companion called B12. Now, this is a third person adventure game, and therefore you're looking at this game from a third person perspective, being a cat. Now, this was announced in 2020 and immediately became highly anticipated. There were initially some delays around the game, but it finally saw the light of the day on the 19th of July on the PlayStation consoles, both the PS4 and the PlayStation 5, and also your Windows machine. So it's a console exclusive for PlayStation as far as consoles go, but it's also available on Windows. Now, in today's video, we're doing a quick comparison between the PS5 and the PC version of the game. But before we get started, I'd just like to request you to watch this video on a big screen if you really need to figure out the differences on both the versions, since a small screen will not be able to do justice to pointing out what's different between these two versions. Now, with that said, hey, let's jump right into it and get started. Okay, so the first thing that I would like to say is that whenever I've put up an arrow on screen, you may want to pause the video right then and there just to take a moment and take a look at the details, the differences in the details. Now, because I'm comparing the PlayStation 5 to the PC obviously is the superior one in terms of resolution. Now, in terms of the resolution, you can play up to 4K, native 4K that is, on the PC. I, however, was not playing this on native 4K. I had actually scaled it down to 1440p while I was playing this game on my PC. For your reference, the PC or my laptop that I was playing this on was the Asus ROG Strix G15. Now, it comes with an AMD Ryzen 9 5900HX mobile processor, and it also has the RX 6800M, which is basically a 12 GB GDDR6 graphic card. And so this was the specs with 16 GB of RAM. I think it's worth mentioning that as well. Now, on the PlayStation 5, it runs beautifully. On the PC, in terms of the FPS, while in, you could say, 1440p, I was getting 60 FPS most of the times, but it was dropping down to somewhere between 40 to 45 as well. So I was having frame drops, is what I'm trying to say, on the PC while I was playing this. Now, it could be kind of an enhancement issue, or it is something that they may avoid in the future through a possible update. But in terms of the PlayStation 5, it was superb. I mean, in terms of the FPS, I did not face any issues at all when it comes to the FPS on the PlayStation 5. Now, PlayStation 5, I think, performed really well in terms of the frame rates. But in terms of the graphic resolution, of course, there are no comparisons. In terms of the load times, as you will be able to see on screen as well, it was neck to neck. I mean, it's not like, one machine was ahead of the other. It was really neck to neck. So there was no difference in the load times whatsoever. And one more thing I would like to mention is that on the PC, I was actually storing this game on an external SSD. And the SSD that I was storing this on was the SanDisk Extreme Pro. So that's where the game was stored. And even after that, I was still getting next to nothing kind of load times. So the PlayStation 5 version is really excellent in terms of the performance And I think to get that smooth 60 FPS, even the negligible, you could say, graphical sacrifices that it has to make, you won't even notice it. I mean, unless you are running the screen side by side. And again, you may want to notice the arrows that I put in. So if you want to pause the screen, only then you would actually be able to make out the differences. Because the PlayStation 5 visually is very close to the PC. Now, even if you play this on 4K on PC, first of all, it's not running on native 4K on your PlayStation 5. Definitely not, because there are stark differences in terms of the texture quality. And that is only when you pause the screen, the side-by-side screen again, take a note of the arrow. It's only then that you actually start seeing the differences. But apart from that, it is really, really good when it comes to the performance of this game on the PlayStation 5. Now, on the PlayStation 5, it runs a smooth, you could say, I think I was getting around 60 FPS on the PlayStation 5. And like I said, on the PC, I was getting 60 FPS as well, but with frame drops. Now, in terms of the settings, the graphical settings on 1440p, as far as the PC goes, everything was cranked up, to the maximum. So everything was high, the mesh quality was high, the texture quality was high. So as high as it could be on the PC version of this game. So I haven't had a chance to try this out on the PS4, but I think this game runs only at 30 FPS on the PS4 if I'm not mistaken. But a stable 30 FPS. Now again, take a look at the reflection quality as well. I think they have compromised here in terms of the quality of the reflections when it comes to reflections on shiny surfaces, water surfaces, etc. You will be able to make out the difference only when you're comparing it side by side. And again, the PlayStation 5 version is so good that I think I'll end up playing this game on the PlayStation 5 over the PC. Of course, you have the option of going up to native 4K on the PC. I did try that version out as well. While I cranked up, everything on high settings with native 4K in terms of the resolution scaling, I was getting around 40 FPS on my laptop, which is not bad. In fact, 40 to 45, I would say, which is not bad at all. And this game, by the way, is beautiful. It's a gorgeous game. The kind of level design that they've done in this game. And first of all, let's start with the character of the game. I mean, the cute little cat that you play as. I mean, it's adorable. Cat lovers, you're gonna love this game. And even if you're not a cat lover, I mean, how can you not adore, that cute little face on screen? And you will get to see a close-up shot of this stray cat as well. So, if you notice, in terms of the lighting, it's pretty much the same. I did not see any sacrifices that the PlayStation 5 made in terms of the lighting. But yes, it does take a hit in terms of textures. Now, in terms of the assets, it's the same. So if you're talking about the volume of grass, the volume of the foliage, it's all the same. It hasn't changed anything from the PC version. So you will not find any differences at all in terms of the assets. And no matter where you pause in this video, you will clearly be able to make out that the amount of assets that they used on both the PlayStation 5 version and on the PC version were the same. Now, I don't know about the PlayStation 4 version. They might have made more compromises on that. But the PS5 version, it's neck to neck in terms, in fact, it's the same. I won't say neck to neck, it's the same in terms of the number of assets. Load times, the same compared to the PC. And again, in scenes like this, the draw distance and the sharpness in the texture is the only difference that I can see in the PC version. And please note again that I'm actually playing this on 1440p on my PC, and I did try it out on the 4K. 4K looks even better than 1440p, obviously, that goes without saying. But when you're sitting right up close, to the screen as well, you're kind of amazed with the amount of detail, the textures that you can get on your PC. I mean, you can take a look at that fur on your cat, and it's fantastic. It's absolutely mind-blowing, I would say. So it's a really good game, and it's kind of a unique game. I generally don't enjoy games, which are not action heavy, like general platformers. But the one thing that I was actually motivated about when it comes to this game is the duration of this game as well. Now, to some people, that may be something that turns you off, because when you're paying top bucks for your game, you expect longer hours. Now, this game, in terms of the game size, is only 10 GB first of all on the PC. And in terms of the length of the game, it's only around 5 to 5.5 hours. That's how long the campaign really is. And I kind of like that. And the bonus, the icing on the cake here, is on the PlayStation. It's included with PlayStation Extra. Yeah, so you don't even have to shell out extra dollars. Now, I did have to purchase this on Steam on the PC. However, since this is an indie title, it was inexpensive. Here in India, it just cost me, because I pre-ordered it, it cost me less than 700 Indian rupees. So that's like, less than $10. And that's a really great price for a game of this quality. And again, here in this scene, just notice the reflection quality. The quality of the reflections, they're much higher on the PC version of this game. And even if you focus or zoom in on that robot, if you pay attention to the texture quality on the robot here, then it's much sharper on the PC version. And I'm just talking about the 1440p right now. The 4K is even better. Even if you look at the ground, the texture quality on the ground is far, far superior when it comes to the PC. No surprises here, obviously, because the PC, you get many graphical options as well. So you can actually scale up the graphics, turn it on to native 4K, plus you can tweak the mesh quality, you can tweak the texture quality, etc., which you unfortunately cannot do on a console, but we can understand why not. So here, apart from the texture quality, I did not notice any difference. Whether it's the lighting, whether it's the shadows, it's all the same. Load times, it's the same. And the main difference that I noticed in terms of the performance was that the PlayStation 5 actually outperformed the PC on 1440p when kept to high settings. But again, this is subjective, because this is based on my laptop, which is the Asus ROG Strix G15 Advantage Edition. Now, obviously, if you have a more powerful machine, you can even get those high FPS on your PC. But here with my PC, with the limitations that I had, on 1440p, again 60 FPS, but it was hovering, sometimes dropping down to 40 to 45 FPS. Thank God I have VSync on my TV as well, so I did not experience any screen tearing on this game. So there's no screen tearing. But yeah, I could notice those frame drops when it comes to the PC version. But the PlayStation 5, again, I've slowed this footage down to half the speed so that you can notice the difference. The smoothness on the PlayStation 5 is phenomenal, and it's doing a much better job here than the PC version in terms of the FPS. Graphic resolution is a whole different thing altogether, but I would like to mention again that even in terms of the graphic resolution, the PlayStation 5 is really close. I mean, if you're sitting at a distance of say about 7 to 8 feet from a 43-inch TV, like I am in this case, then in that case you wouldn't really notice those differences unless you pixel peep. Yeah? So for me, the PlayStation 5 version has proved to be the better version in this case, according to my personal real world experience, and I just thought I'd share that in this video as well. But of course, if you have a more powerful PC, then you can enjoy this game. And this game is enjoyable, by the way, so I think you should get your hands on this game. It's a fantastic title. Again, it's included in PlayStation subscription tiers, so you don't have to shell out anything extra. So go get it, try it out, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section as well. And if you like this content, then do hit that like and subscribe button as well. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you could hit that bell icon as well, I would appreciate it, because every time I release a new video of mine, you will get a notification that I have done so. Now with that said, it's a wrap for this one. I'll see you lovely folks in my next video. Until that time, I'll say take care, stay safe, and may God bless you all.